Hi, and thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of the Weekly Seed. I'm Peter, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the death of the direct mail industry, or the lack thereof. When most people think about marketing in today's current environment, they think about new technologies and digital marketing, things like email blasts, or Google AdWords, or through Yahoo or Bing, or they think about video ads on YouTube or on your favorite news site, or maybe on Facebook, or even Twitter or Instagram. The different types of ways that companies are now targeting consumers. But they tend to forget about the fact that direct marketing and direct mail still plays a huge part in today's marketing landscape. So today, I wanted to go over some facts and figures and remind you about why it's still so relevant. When you're thinking about today and you're thinking about millennials, people tend to think that they only will respond to new forms of marketing, and that's why they become so prevalent. But in actuality, millennials are more likely to respond to direct mail marketing than any other demographic, which a lot of people find surprising. In addition, direct mail marketers as a industry are seeing higher response rates today than they were 30 years ago. So that really speaks to the amount of traction that direct mail still has with the American consumer. So here's some figures for you. The first one, 98%. 98% of consumers in America still check their mail every single day. It's part of their habits, day-to-day habits, and it's still something that they will actually take time out of their day to go and check the mail. In addition to that, 48% of people will actually retain a piece of mail. That means that they might stick it on their refrigerator, they might leave it on their kitchen counter, maybe they bring it to their office or they leave it on their desk at work, but they're going to retain it and they're going to look at it again in the future, which once again is something that's pretty powerful because you get to actually leave that in their hands, and it's not something that necessarily automatically gets tossed aside, when instead you think about email blasts or ads today with things like Netflix and fast forwards on DVR. You can skip commercials. A lot of people have just kind of blocked out marketing, but with direct mail, it's still something physical that they get to put in their hands, and that's really something that it can't be underestimated. Excuse me. Third point here is 73% of people actually prefer direct mail as a marketing venue compared to any other forms. They'd prefer that they actually get something in the mail instead of seeing it on a computer screen. 59% of people still state that they actually enjoy receiving mail. That's a pretty high number of people in the US. But when you think about it, a lot of people have an emotional connection to mail. They might think back to their childhood when they got a letter from their grandmother for their birthday, or $5 in the mail from their grandmother, or it was getting a catalog of toys. So there's still that emotional connection, which is really something that's powerful and something that we want to actually take advantage of as marketers. 70% and 56%. 70% of people actually really like seeing an offer in the mail, and 56% of people trust it more. They consider direct mail to be more trustworthy, and it's a form of marketing that, once again, goes back to that emotional connection where they actually enjoy it, but because of that, they feel like there's some kind of trust built into something that they receive in the mail. So that's pretty important as well. 79% of consumers in America will actually take action when they receive a direct mail piece, versus only 45% of people when it's sent via email. Again, a pretty strong statistic. And lastly, 13 to 1. That's a statistic that came from the Direct Mail Marketers Association of America, and that's the return on investment across the industry in the United States. That's just an average. It of course varies from industry to industry, but still a really strong statistic and one that's quite important. So that concludes this week's edition of the Weekly Seed. I hope you enjoyed it.